So figuring it out.
Let's see.
Maybe not.
Well, that was the one thing that he was good at. You know, he had a little AV experience. We could bring him in on a case by case basis. I guess.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. There you go. We've got a very full agenda today, and we have a chamber function that starts at 11:30. So we gotta get through this quick today. So, Mr. McGee, if you'll keep your comments brief.
Okay, I'll sit here and just look pretty.
Anyway, we do have a lot to get through. I appreciate everybody coming out. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. And I'll call roll, I guess, because you don't have their names, do you? Gary Perry is not here. Justin Wilbanks is not here. Sean Patel.
Here.
Ted Sarna.
Here.
James McGee. He's here. And Matilda Patel is not here. Brian Huff is here. All right, first is the approval of our minutes from our December meeting.
I'll move that we accept our minutes as written.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and second to approve the minutes as printed. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? All right, we'll go to the old business. Harry McWater, if you want to talk to us about your request, sir.
Yes,
And y'all all have this in your packet under Crawford County Car Club.
I don't know if you want me to,
Just speak to all of us, what you got going on.
this is mainly for, we have the car club, and it's a small organization right now. They have every year have a show and shine. It's not a car, usual,
Car show.
show, yes. It's because they charge no admission, there's no entry fee. This is basically for all the cars that she really doesn't want. These are for people, everybody knows
Everyday
somebody.
drivers.
Yeah, the daily drivers, the people around here, and there's a lot of them. They're not, we get a few $50,000, $100,000 cars, but most of the time it's just the daily drivers. What I'm trying to do here is to build up our membership so we won't have to come back to you next year. And we're gonna do a lot of Facebook advertising. This will be the first of all these things, the T-shirts, and then we do small trophies, a People's Choice Award and the Mayor's Choice Award. We have monthly meetings every month at Airedale Diner. I'm sure you like that.
Absolutely.
Sit there and eat and talk and basically, and we do alongside, we had this in the fall, or in spring and the fall, mid-May and mid-September. And then on top of that, we go do all the parades, the Christmas parade they call and ask us. Recently we had a movie that was being made about Melissa Witt. They wanted old cars. I was there. And so, you know, we kind of reference that. We draw people in from, there's some from Waldron, up toward Fayetteville, of course, Fort Smith, Van Buren, just a little bit everywhere. And our shows are usually at the Harps, or always at the Harps parking lot. Starts at 6 in the evening on Saturday evening, runs till 9, fill up the parking lot, and everybody eats. We have Harp sponsors us and makes donations, and so does Sonic, so that's why we have them out there.
Do y'all have a checking account set up for the car club?
Yes.
You want 3,000 total, 1,500 spring, 1,500 fall?
Correct.
Approximately how many members? Yeah. You know?
Hey, well, this is another thing. It's not mandatory if you get in to go to the shows to be a member.
Right.
But we have approximately 100 members at $15 a piece. So, and that's what I want to get up is more people, so we won't be, like I said, coming back.
Okay. And your events your shows are in Alma?
Yes.
Where do you have them at?
At the Harp.
Harps. Okay. I would suggest, and and Harry, whatever we give you has to be spent on promotional. So like you put on here, your Facebook ads, trophies, help with your t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. The money can go towards. Our whole thing is bringing people to spend money in Alma. So what I would suggest is to do the 1,500 for spring. And then if you can come back in July or August and kind of show us what you did with that 1,500, and then we can go from there for the fall show.
Sounds fair.
And also maybe, if you can relatively track how many people showed up, that kind of thing, how big an event it was, that's always.
Okay. So we're good for 1,500 this spring show.
So move.
I second that.
Got a motion and second to award Crawford County Car Club 1,500 for their spring show. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
All right,
Absolutely.
we'll have Rhonda get you the check, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Get in your space, okay? The other old business is Lost Trails Ranch. We don't have anyone from Lost Trails here today, do we? They had asked for some funds to help us. We kind of tabled it. Is there anything y'all want?
Well, I think the biggest issue that we had was, being in the city limits.
It is, and I've looked at other A&Ps and they don't, and I've looked at the A&P rules, and the event doesn't have to be in city limits. It has to be near enough to where it'll draw people to spend money in the city limits, so lodging, food, stuff like that. So they have events, an eclipse watch, a rodeo, barrel race, and a bull riding coming up April through June. So,
And how much were they looking for? The original level was like $20,000.
no, it's 20,000
Or 25.
for the rodeo, 10,000 for barrel race, eclipse 5,000, and the bull riding 20,000. So like what, 55?
The budget's 54,000 in it.
What's that?
On that Lost Trails, their budget is 54,000 in it.
Mhm. So
What's the first event that's coming in?
the eclipse.
I mean, you're already seeing people booking rooms for that, right? Yeah. I would, not coincidentally, since it's the smallest amount also, I might be interested in doing a little bit of that. I don't know that, like I say, 54 is a lot of money.
Oh, it is, and I don't think
Do a lot
there's
of-
a way we can do.
Do a lot of car shows for $54,000, you know what I'm saying? We could buy somebody a car for $54,000.
So
Plus, I still kind of, I'm a little still in the gray of how they actually produce money and, you know what I mean? How they become self-sufficient in their own respect. Because from the looks of that, it looks like we're basically going to sponsor them for everything they do.
I would not do the eclipse. I think the eclipse is going to take care of itself. I think
To a degree.
it's advertising itself. I think the whole.
What's gonna happen, no matter what?
I mean, it's going to happen, and they're already expecting huge traffic jams and travel
Gosh, yes, it's gonna happen, folks.
delays and everything else. So I think.
But you see what I'm talking about on kind of their
I
deal in
do.
general. I mean,
I
it,
do.
you know,
I would,
it's like, what else are you guys doing to
What else are you doing to generate?
income so that you're not
Not
letting,
doing it?
yeah. And what happens if we don't?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So is it all for naught or what?
I would,
They were talking about building bungalows and cabins and, you know, I mean, there's
I would entertain awarding them some for that April rodeo.
is that a done deal? I know they had brought that one gentleman in that,
It says April 26th and 27th. I mean, and we can say it's for the rodeo, and if they don't do the rodeo, I won't. But I wouldn't do the 20. I would entertain a much lower number to start the.
Can I can't remember, can the peanut gallery ask a question?
yes, you in the front.
Yes, thank you. Just in talking about this, as far as like the eclipse, as far as, funds and especially outside the city limits, that's, there's nothing specific on how the A&P distributes that, right, from a charter perspective. However, from like looking at social media and just, this is what I would advise the A&P to look at, as you get these requests, is look at their social media profiles, look at their posts, look at those type of things before awarding, because like, for example, in their particular post, one of the most recent ones is back in 2022. So, not saying that they're not doing anything or they are doing something, but take that under advisement.
I mean, I know they've got
activities.
a gun show this weekend that I've seen signs out on every intersection for. So,
But the other thing and this is something that I always think of, especially when I'm sitting in James' seat on the council side, is that, if it's something very important, we always try to make time to come through. Y'all obviously make time to come down and, sit and get quorum and everything. So, typically when you're asking for money or trying to make a good case, you kind of see it, at least how I was raised, we see it all the way through, one way or the other. So,
yeah, and I mean, they were here when they originally presented and we tabled.
Yep. And that's when you bookmark it for the next meeting.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying is, I would strongly urge the A&P to determine what those funds would be specifically for. Maybe that was in the literature originally, but like you said, that's a whole lot of car shows. That's a lot of other activities that may impact the more immediate community as far as it goes from a dollar for dollar side.
Thank you.
So we want to table for the bull ride?
For the time being, well, the only thing is if we don't meet in March,
It'll be
it'll be April.
what's the dollar amount that you would be willing to, and I guess, like you say, if they don't do it, we can always, if they're not write the check, they go right to.
I would say 5. I mean, let's start off and
That would probably be the max that I would be comfortable with, just to see what they do with it and see how that, I mean, obviously, it's going to be a long-term thing for them. It's not a put up a circus tent, come into town and then leave again type of situation, so.
but it's another thing where we can, here's what we did, what you do with it, and here,
But I'm
gives
just
us
saying.
some investment in their event so that we can question how many people came,
Correct.
what was the impact, did it have an impact?
But it's not like we're on a time crunch with them in general as far as, the general tenor is they're gonna be around for years and years. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So sponsoring one event, I think would be a start. Anyways, you know, don't have to jump in with both feet and don't have to do it all.
Yeah.
As I think they mentioned that, you know, this is just the beginning of what they'd like to do. So,
Okay.
James, what do you think?
I think if they wanted money, they'd be here.
There is a little bit of
Well-
that in the back of my mind.
You
There is a
know,
little
James,
bit of
they have, and I'm gonna not speak to their defense, but I don't know if they were told you need to be here. They have
But
called.
it's
They have-
good to have them where they can answer questions before
Mhm.
we make a decision, you know. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's why I was old business. I think they let me know at 9:59 that there was a meeting that day, and that's why I was old business. So,
They have called and asked the status, and we told them there hasn't been a decision either way.
Have they asked for an amount or anything?
I mean, it's in the packet what they've asked for.
Yeah.
It's 55 altogether, but I think they're new to this and they're new to our A&P and we're not, you know, that's
Well,
That's
they're
an
new to all
impossible
of
number.
them, which is kind of the hesitancy that, you know, I have too, is that they're kind of new to the whole deal. So
well,
that's why I feel like, you know, maybe partially sponsor one deal, see how it goes, and
yeah,
then go from there.
okay.
I'd make a motion to sponsor 5,000 for the rodeo.
For the rodeo.
Yep.
Got a motion to do 5,000 for the rodeo. There's a second?
When you said April or something. Is that in April?
I didn't say anything.
No second?
My thinking is,
You gotta speak up, I can't hear you.
they should be, I know they weren't told, but, just to clarify the funds and stuff. If the
Okay.
program's gonna go through and stuff.
Okay. So table it and ask them to come to the next meeting.
And we'll move up in March if there are events in April.
Okay.
Were you here when they originally came?
We're gonna skip over ordinance for now and keep going on with the fund request. The Alma Education and Arts, which is I think the only thing they sent us a request in so far is for the pack, for 20,000, which is what we did last year. But if we want to, we can go ahead and, while we do the pack, we can go ahead and do the football turf.
Yeah.
And the,
Don't we have that on in the budget?
Mhm. Yep.
What we have to bring up with the end.
yeah,
Okay.
I guess.
You gotta earn your pay, James.
I know.
What do we,
What do
if we
get paid
provide
for,
that
yeah.
bottle of water, I think that's all we've done for you. Pay
Well, I
wise,
was
but-
thinking those have been, but we hadn't voted on that. We just came up with those numbers.
So. I would think the football is a done deal because that was
Yeah.
approved 9 years ago to
Yeah,
do
true, yeah.
10 payments for,
You need a motion on that particular one, or you wanna group them or what?
yeah, this group them.
All right.
Is this our last year on the football team?
I think we got one more
One more
next
year?
year,
One more
but we're done with the video board.
Really?
How many items is in that? The pack, the,
Pack and the football.
And
I move that we approve what we've got in the budget.
what is the pack doing?
Their shows, their,
So we're sponsoring
Yeah, we
Part
give,
of
we give them to help advertise and
Okay,
bring talent.
sure, sure, sure.
Bring the arts to Alma. So I've got a motion to, award the Alma Education and Arts Foundation, $20,000 for their PAC programming and, to make our $10,000 annual turf project payment.
Was there one more?
Nope.
That was
Since we don't have video board, that's all there is now.
it? Okay, so video was,
Yeah.
I'd second that motion.
Got a second from Ted. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Donald Run. Donald Run has requested any amounts is appreciated. For Jack's Donald Run, 10th annual, wow. Anyway, last year, do you know what we did last year?
You paid for the shirts and it was like around 2,700.
Okay.
27.
Yeah, 25 to 27.
25.
I would probably say 25, sounds like a number we
Okay,
would,
yeah.
a nice round number.
How much was that? How much do we get? I was looking here,
Is it on there?
there it is, I found it.
We'll get my, yeah, 2,500 is what we did last year. And that paid for their t-shirt printing.
I moved it. Go 25, I'm good on that. And that's what,
Have you got estimates on the shirts yet? Are they gonna be
No,
more or less?
they told us they would probably be up from last year.
Like everything else.
So I would suggest we word it as we will pay for the t-shirt printing up to a certain amount. Is the way I would word it. And what, I don't know what that amount,
Why don't we just do 3,000?
up to 3,000.
James, that'd be all right with you?
Yeah.
That'd be all right with you? That gives a little bit
A
of
little wiggle.
latitude, buy a trophy or two on there too, and
up to 2,500, right?
Up to 3,000.
up to
Up to
3,000.
3,000, I
Yeah,
missed that, yeah.
yeah. Everything's gone up.
Okay. So the way I understand, you're making that motion,
To change that amount to 3,000, please.
but that's total, not just for t-shirts. You're saying
Just
if
give
there's
them,
money left over, they can use it
use
for
it
medals or
for
whatever.
medals, trophies, what have you,
Okay.
they'll put it to good use.
All right.
Does that sound all right?
Yes.
Award Jack's Donald Run $3,000.
You need to vote on it?
Hmm?
We need to vote on
Yes,
it?
well, I'm
Oh, sorry.
I'm
Hey,
speaking the motion into existence
I
here.
got you. I'm just trying to-
Award Jack's Donald Run $3,000 to cover their cost of t-shirt printing, with any money left over to go to, awards or medals for the race. I've got that motion from Ted. Do I have a second? I've got a second from James. Any discussion? Any questions? All in favor?
Hi.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right, Mayor's 4th of July. We got an email. If we pay by March 1st, we get like 200 more bangs than if we wait.
Is that a
So
technical term? I'm not-
I think so.
Okay,
I think that was pops, 20,000 more pops or something.
all right, very nice.
So anyway, his proposal is $20,000 for the firework display.
And that's down 5,000 from 2
That's
years ago.
that's down 5,000 from 2 years ago, but up 5,000 from last year.
Because it was 15 last year.
Yes.
Wow, we must have had a coupon. BOGO deal or buy one, get one?
So
Okay. Well,
it's in the budget for 20.
I would make a motion that we approve that.
Make a motion to approve the mayor's request for $20,000 to cover the cost of fireworks for the 4th of July celebration. Got a second?
200 extra
Any-
pops.
Any
Say
discussion?
about March 1st.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Candy?
Okay. Don't forget to see you.
Yeah. Thank you.
So here is the flyer for this year, as well as the t-shirt form and a little piece of paper in the back that talks about expenses from last year and what A&P helped cover last year. This year is our 5th year for the event, and just like anything else, each year it grows. Last year we had it at the primary school, because that's one thing I struggle with, is having an area in this town. Because it's not just a car show, it's a car and a craft show, and then I have to have space for spectators. So this year, we're actually gonna have it at the high school band parking lot. I'm not advertising it as that, because I don't want people to know, hey, that's the high school band parking lot. That's why it's the corner of Mulberry and Spring. We will put a map out there. There's another reason why I chose that location, not just because of the parking. That's gonna be right next to Jack's Diner. And our proceeds this year, last year we did it half and half. Half of the proceeds went to the seniors, and then half the proceeds to Jack's Snacks. This year, sorry, it's a little emotional, but this year we're doing it three-fourths to Jack's Snacks and 1/4 to the seniors. Because I was some of those kids that didn't receive snacks, so it's kind of close to home for me. But I still want to help the seniors. So we're changing it this year. So 3/4 of our proceeds will go to Jack's Snacks. And then the 1/4 will go to the seniors. But the way this event works is I get everything sponsored prior to the event. So we have, the DJ, the t-shirts, the everything all the expenses prior to the event. So someone comes register their car, all the arts and craft vendors. Someone buys a t-shirt, someone buys a hat, someone purchases like a 50-50 ticket. All of that money raised that day is split between the proceeds, or to the two nonprofits. So that's why I say it's all the profits go to the nonprofits. Each year we do expand, we have trouble, so I don't know if I've actually kind of joked with a couple people that have land in this area. I'm like, we need 2 big old spaces, one concrete lot for 200 spectators and one concrete lot for car show people, because I'm running out of space. I already have people coming down from St. Louis for the car show. They had said that they love doing events for the kids. They're driving their car all the way from St. Louis here for this event. And I love what they do, the show and shine, because there are those that love to come and just hang out. I have those that do that. And then I have those that love, and they come to, spend their $25 for their car show registration, but I do door prizes for all of those that enter their car. I do get goodie bags for all of those. So I give back as much as I can to show our appreciation for those that come, because those that come, we can't have an event if they don't attend and we don't give back. So last year y'all gave 3, and I kind of broke it down. It was a little over 3. Actually, altogether it was a little over 5. What we spent to have the event. We did some extras. We had hats made, so those hats are sold at the car show. All of the t-shirt sponsors are on the back of our t-shirt. So like last year, A&P was on the top, and then all of our other sponsors are on there as well. They're sold, everybody carries them. One thing I did do last year to get people to wear shirts from previous years, I just kind of noted it on social media of wear a previous year's shirt, just to get other people out there. So I had these little koozies made by a local person. So I had them in my back pocket. So when I seen somebody wearing a previous year's shirt, I just gave them one. It's just, I love to give back, and the small things like that, it just kind of helps out. And I just try to push it as a family event. I do the pony rides free. I try to get that sponsored. We have bounce arounds. So it's cars, arts and craft vendors.
Do you know approximately how many people were at last year's?
So, I'm kind of all over the place. So it's hard. I have some pictures.
A lot.
Did you attend last year? You know, those that attended, I know there was 1,000, there was a lot of people that come. Our space for just the cars that attended for the show, I ran out of space by 10 o'clock. So then I was like, okay, we have to park in the grass. We have to park in here. We have to park there. Spectator parking was the parent parking at the primary school. I had read that people didn't even stop because there was not space to park. People parked in the grass, people parked across the street at the storage. So it's hard for me to figure that one out because I'm actually all over the place. But that's why it's better to ask people that were there. Actually technically there. But there's a lot of people that come in from all over. Not, you know, we're having the car show, but then it's been approved by the city that night we're having a cruise night. So those that are into just cruising, that's going to take place from 6:30 to 8:30. So what that is we'll just be stationed at OCDs and then do a slap parade, and people will just come in town just to hang out for that. So the really only expense that I'll have to make for that is just make a couple banners to set us on it. But that is just getting the word out and having more people come in from town.
It's where the jail fence that come in here. And,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
I hate to sound uneducated, but
You're
what is a crafty heifer?
So the crafty heifer, she her name is Tammy Morgan. She makes our shop rags, something else that I do for each car show person in those goodie bags. I buy shop rags from Atwoods. She prints, actually I brought some for y'all. She prints these and I put them in the goodie bags. So that's just her name that she goes by. So with her making the shop rags,
I
with
know if it was a sneaky cow or what.
no, so if you see that Jeep driving around that looks like a cow with horns, that's her.
Well, that'd
It's a
be
local
pretty cool.
vendor or a local lady that I have her do these small little things. She did, let's see, she did the koozies that I showed you. She does those. She did our hats. I actually ordered the hats from Hobby Lobby because I wanted to go with the green. We ordered these patches, and then she does this. She put them on. So her services for doing that, and then we turn around and sell them. So it's just a local person that she helps out with this.
Oh, nice.
Good.
Yeah.
And last year, Candy, did we pay the invoices directly for you?
So I was, no, I had to bring the invoices to you to document, okay, over the 3,000,
Okay,
and then that's how I did it.
okay. Last year we did 3,000. And this is probably, besides the fireworks, I would say the biggest event in town.
Confirm the date.
So on
April
the,
6th.
on the total expenses of 52, we sponsored 3,000 of that? Is that how I'm reading that right?
Correct.
Okay.
One thing I'll make
Yeah.
note on her particular request is that it's on April 6th. We all know April 8th is the go date as far as it goes. So just to kind of help put it in perspective, this will help keep and draw other additional folks in.
Oh, for the eclipse, yes.
Yeah, for
So
the
that's one
eclipse.
thing that I've been asked, are you canceling your event? I'm like, no. I'm like, this event was scheduled last year at our event. It was announced of the eclipse a week or so after that. I'm not canceling just because, you know, I'm like, if anything, I will be getting extra signs to place as soon as people get off the exit of, hey, we're having this event, you know, because it not only helps the people
Well,
come in.
it helps them come for the whole weekend.
Yes.
That's
You know,
exactly
to-
what it's
to-
gonna do.
And
To come Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Correct.
Monday.
And they're already having to book, what, minimum 3 night stays? typically.
Alright,
But, it will draw, the eclipse will draw people
Mhm.
to her event.
And by the way, I don't have a dog in this hunt or anything else along those lines. I'm just here from a numbers perspective. So, right, James? Yeah.
So long as you guys don't park in my front yard, when you move over there, I'm good.
Where do you?
I live right next to
Oh, okay, so
Oh,
the way that we will do that this year is the practice band parking lot. I have it to where we can have about 50 arts and craft vendors. Last year we had 33. And I don't let just anybody.
I'm just
No.
I don't care.
Well,
If it
I-
brings people down, then you
Yeah.
can park in my front. yard.
Yes. Right now, I can park 181 cars in that parking lot and then add, motorcycles in the sun hat. And then I have it spaced accordingly, because that's the biggest thing is having space for the cars. You have space, you give back to these people, they will come. And then it's, just like Harry knows about car shows, that, it's just all of us working together and having this event, and then it turns around and gives to two nonprofits that are big in this community, so. And like,
We advertise for the car show
Mhm.
at the Night on Run, and then they're going to actually line up the street when our runners start running down the road. So,
Yeah, the dino run is the 6th also.
Well, they were over, or I guess what we sponsored, they went over $109. So we want to try to increase that amount,
I put 3 to 5.
or try
It's
to
like we have,
offset a little bit of that.
Yeah.
James, what do you think, my friend?
Well, I think we ought to give her all we can, and I don't know what he's got over there on the other budget for the rest of it.
the trophies I've already priced, they are $974.85. One thing
I know my bill is on my desk. And I support it because they brought a lot of people in last year.
Yeah, well, and they're going to bring more
But
people
I
in
did
because
this
of the
for advertising
eclipse.
for myself,
Well, I'm amicable to raising that amount. If somebody got a suggestion. I mean, the total
I look
amount.
to our direct leader to tell us what we can
Well,
afford.
I would,
well, it's the first of the year, so we still got,
Huh?
we can do, if we wanna do the 5, that's.
well, I was gonna say, she had a total amount of 5209.72. I would venture to say that's probably gonna be closer to 5500.
The trophies have gone up over
Yeah, the
$100.
trophies are $974.85.
So trophies alone have gone up $140.
If we did 3 last year, I would suggest 5 this year. And
I would second that.
That would, get the vast majority of that and go into a good cause and a lot of people gonna be around and.
Okay.
Hotel rooms.
Got a motion and second to do for 5,000 for Airedale Car and Craft Show. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Okay. The Bank OZK CD, this CD was from, is there any other presentations? I'm sorry, that's all I have on the agenda. Okay. This CD was part of our bonds. We had to have a reserve CD. It was supposed to be liquidated last year. It wasn't. So it is due. Where the paper went? What's that? It'll mature in June. I just want to get ahead of that and go ahead and have a motion that when that matures, we just put that back into our revenue fund.
What kind of interest rate are we still eligible to get? Do we need it in the revenue fund?
We will. We will, because we're going to move some of the surplus that's in the revenue into CD in our next.
I just think we need to take as much advantage of the high interest rate. I mean, I think that we're offering 0.25 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Now we're still at 5.
Well, let's just, let's table that.
Well, I'm
No.
all about it. I
My-
just want to make sure if we can take an opportunity to make money.
I hear you.
man.
I hear you. So let's table it for our next meeting when we kind of have some more,
A little more time.
a little more clarity on maybe how the year's trending. So
The Fed has not touched the
it's,
interest rates, right?
we have a lot of CDs coming. If y'all look at the finance thing, we've got CDs come due in May, a CD in April, 2 CDs in June, and another one in May. So we've got a lot of CDs up for renewal this spring. So
Is that
We have-
everything we have in there, or no? We still have
that's everything.
that's currently in the CD?
All these are CDs. This is our revenue account. That's our expense account. So
I thought we had put,
that's what we did last year.
okay.
So, surplus funds. Right now we have 313,509 in our revenue account. We budgeted income, I want to say of 260.
260 or 260.
This year we budgeted expenses of 247. So I'd like to take at least 200,000 of what's in that revenue account and put that into a CD at the best rate that I can find.
Yeah, motion on that. I'll move that you move 200,000 into a CD.
I'll second that.
All right, I'll shop those and get the best rate.
I've still seen some 5s.
You're seeing some 5s local, the national, like the brokered CDs that we had last year through Cetera, those are below 5, but locally, there's still some 5s out there for a 1 year or 13 months, a small term. So, all right, we will move 200,000. Motion is to take 200,000 out of the revenue account, purchase a CD, at the best rate after shopping rates. So, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And that gives us, that's an aggressive amount, but we've got safety valves coming up with all these CDs maturing.
I see what you're saying on that.
Yeah. 2023 undistributed funds. So we have some funds that we approved that never got paid out. I wish Rhonda was here. She's sick. I know the softball field
I
was
was gonna
probably the
say,
biggest
the
one.
softball field was like,
He's got 19,300 left. So
what is his status on that? Is he,
I have not talked to him this
Okay.
year.
can we just
Do we
can we roll that back into this year and then
want to
uh,
roll it and have him?
well, we need to hear from him. I mean, if he doesn't need it.
Well, we need to make a decision on it today, though. So we can do two things: is we can somehow, and Mr. Blassigan, you may be able to tell me the correct words. Since we approved it, but we haven't paid it, we can put it in a special account to hold it.
In an escrow or
Kind of.
something. Yeah.
Or we can just roll it back into the general fund and he'll just have to come re-ask.
To be honest with you, it'll be cleaner if you roll it back into the fund.
Saying it out loud makes it seem that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you earmark it and carry it forward, there's other things Rhonda will end up having to do if you just,
Rhonda's doing enough. So
yeah, so,
I don't want to put anything else on her.
because that was in your allocations for last year that technically terminated at the end of last year from a budget and
Right.
from a payout.
But we don't know if he's aggressively still trying to pursue this project.
I haven't talked to him this year at all, so. And it's almost that time of year, I figured. All right, so we'll just
Roll
that back into the general fund and he can represent.
And the original award was 25,000.
Mhm. So. All right, budget adjustment, we don't have to make any adjustments to the 23 budget for the way, since we're not carrying anything forward. We were under budget and under budget or at budget on all line items last year. Is there anything we need to do on that since we didn't adjust the budget? I mean,
No, as long as you're under,
we don't have
You're
to
okay, yeah.
approve, amend, finalize.
if there are certain elements that did go over from a budget, then you have to make an amendment.
We'd have
for
to
those.
amend that line item.
That line item,
and stuff,
that's correct.
yeah. Okay. All right, now the big thing, the ordinance. Ordinance number, she numbered it 2024-2. So what this does is it repeals our two A&P ordinance that we currently have, which is 97.9 and 99.4. 97.9 sets out the A&P, the original A&P tax. 99.4 kind of puts some teeth to the enforcement of it, okay? So this replaces both of those, and it brings it up to what's allowable now by state statute, which was not allowable then. So in particular, in section 2, it changes, so the previous was hotel motel, and now it includes house, cabin, bed and breakfast, campground, condominium, or other similar rental accommodation for sleeping, meeting. And then it also adds party room facilities for profit. Which all of those were not in the original language of our ordinance. So it adds those for accommodations, and then it adds on the food, concession stands, convenience stores, grocery store, restaurants, and all other establishments engaged in the selling of prepared food. So those specific words were not in the original ordinance, which those are in the state statute now. So this just mirrors that.
Does it address food trucks at all?
To me, I take the concession stands as the food trucks.
Okay.
So that's one thing it changes. The second thing it changes on section 6, and this is to mirror the state statute on residency requirements of council members or of commission members. So state statute now says that commissioners must live in the city limits unless approved by a specific city ordinance. So this just has those words in there to where you don't have to live, you have to live in the county, but you don't have to live in the city limits to be on this commission. Which that is reflective of the state statutes. So it just kind of catches us up, and then on the enforcement, it it spells out a lot of additional, kind of the steps on enforcement and when they're given notice and their rights, when they're given notice to appear and appeal and stuff like that. But it gives us specific language to examine books if we need to, place liens if we need to. It's just a little, it took, I guess, what was like a page on our previous ordinance and put it on 2 pages. Detailed instructions. So what I'd like to do is present this to city council for consideration.
Brian, may I ask a question?
Yes.
When you say concession stands, schools?
Hmm?
Schools? concession
Schools, this says, on the state statute, it has concession stands, but it says, it says gross tax shall not apply to gross receipts or gross proceeds of fraternal organizations qualified under 501c3.
Schools are at 501c3, are they?
No, or not. They can't be.
So,
You need a motion to present this to the city council.
James?
So moved.
Just to answer your question, if the organization that is using the concession stand to raise money is a 501.
They're not.
Well, I'm just saying if they became, then
But you're talking about band and you're talking about football and you're talking about.
Yeah, some of that's.
You know,
But that's not-
That's all done in
I
the
don't-
school.
right, and I don't think that's the intent of this.
No.
And I don't think any city in the state puts a
Right.
tax on their
But like
school
for the,
concessions.
but for like city park, as far as the aquatic park, I'm assuming that this would now be applicable to any of those. Based on concession
I
stands.
hadn't thought of that, but yeah, I think so.
So, and then if you have like a little league event, unless it's a 501c3.
Unless
they
they're a
basically-
501c3, which I believe baseball is, but softball a C3.
Not that I was aware of.
Yeah, so I mean, there's gonna be some, send it over to Sean, send it over to whoever, like James said, there's a motion on the table to get it in front of the council, but, just to get
Clarity.
some additional clarifications, because you're gonna have some civic
gonna
groups
come
that will pop up, right? Because the tax man's gonna always, get the dollar. So-
Well, and I think kind of
our bigger issue is when, businesses. are
Yeah,
sending
for-profit
us-
businesses or things along brick and mortar stores.
Well, are sending us a check for $20 and saying that's all I owe you. And,
Yeah.
You kind of look at them and go, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
$20?
There's a lot of cars out in your parking lot,
Really?
there's a lot of,
That's really what we're more
Mhm.
trying
Yeah.
to make sure that those folks are paying what they collect.
and then
I-
this,
Go ahead. Yes.
I'll start saying, this just adds the Airbnbs, campgrounds.
Absolutely,
all that stuff.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it needs to be in that print in order to be enforced. So.
and it has the RV parks, correct, inside of this one?
It
Because that
says
was on
campgrounds.
campgrounds, okay. I think that's,
I would second Jim's motion to put that in front of the council.
Got a motion and second to present this to city council for approval. And I'll get on their next study session and
Tuesday night.
this Tuesday. That's a quick turnaround. I thought y'all had them on the first
No, James.
Monday.
It's a whole new world. But yeah, they've called a study session. I haven't seen if it's actually gonna happen, but they
Okay, that'll work for me. So this Tuesday,
yes.
James, study
Seven.
session Tuesday.
think
Six.
study sessions are at 6.
Six.
Get us a
You can ask.
like 50
Oh, did we
miles
vote? All in favor?
circumference.
At the meeting
All
at
in favor?
7:00.
Study session's at 7?
No,
This is our meeting.
our regular council meeting on Thursday is at 7. The study session for next Tuesday is at 6 p.m.
You have a study session on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. They just called. Then you
I
have a-
hadn't seen my email.
Then they have a council meeting
I
at
saw-
7 on
I
Thursday.
saw, they were talking about it the other day.
Yeah, and planning commission is at 6 p.m.
But don't we have I was
We,
thinking.
council meetings
Council
Thursday
meeting's
at
Thursday
7.
night.
I was thinking we had a
Yes,
council
I'm
meeting.
sorry, where he meant, I apologize. I just.
I'm wearing my calendar out.
On the aging reports, everyone is caught up for 2023. Rhonda sent out the people who were behind in 23 got caught up. So we're just on to 2024 now. Put that on 22 and 23. So the people that were in yellow are now good. We're entering the year. Everybody good. So,
And she's produced a new form, I believe.
ooh, okay. We have 750. How much did we on this? 25 or? For what? For their payments.
Oh,
We got
the three-way split.
To cover all these things we just approved. All right, I need a motion to move $61,500 from our revenue fund to our expense account to cover everything we just approved.
You need what now?
I need a motion to move $61,500 from revenue account to expense account to cover everything that we've approved.
So moved.
I'll second that.
All right, got a motion and a second to move $61,500 to cover expenses that we just approved. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Not opposed. Any questions, announcements? Chamber of Commerce is having a candidate meet and greet. It starts at 11:30. So if you want to come meet the candidates that are going to be on the March primary ballot, we invite you out to the community center. Lunch will be served for $15 from Airedale Diner. There you go. Airedale Diner Catfish.
Sure enough.
Fish and chicken.
All right. We're done. Any other questions? All right. Someone adjourn us.
I move with you.
Motion to.
Second.
All
Second.
right.
No, don't worry.
All in
We were just
favor,
talking
say
about
aye.
it, and
All in favor, say
All in
aye.
favor? All right.
Well, I just knew you would have that information already.
I wanna thank y'all again very much. But you know, you were the first official admin
No, I
for
said
my
you
run.
can get something like that.
Yes.
Oh, I
Well,
I get that.
Oh, no.
But this deal that
I don't know who put me in, but I better check on that.
Okay, I'll write it down. Yeah, so, okay, so, yeah, 'cause all
We
the
can have
sponsors,
a thing.
all the sponsors that get on the show are messed
I need one
up.
of those. I need all that.
I don't know if I started or not.
I'll write you down. Okay, yeah.
We just kind of want to stay current and make sure we're.
I think I met you on the chamber meeting.
And also kind of how the city was.